Okay, hello, hello. My name is Cheyenne. I am a women's health and fitness coach. We focus more on improving our mental health. Yes, physical, but the main focus is improving your mental health through lifestyle. Today, I wanted to talk about something that I commonly see in the gym, but then also with my clients as well. And I think what kind of starts it is just how we have been maybe educated or like how, I guess, diet culture and what we grew up with as being the right way to lose fat is maybe why we do this. So I know I was guilty of this at the beginning as well. So I thought I would do a little bit of a podcast on it for you guys. So we're going to be covering weight training to connect with your body and rewire your nervous system. How I do these is I just write down all my notes at nighttime when I'm thinking about it. And then that kind of helps me stay on track. So yeah, I see it all the time in the gym, people moving like very quickly through these movements. And I always want you to just think of tempo and making it more of like a slow and controlled movement. So different tempos can be used depending on what you are training for. So if you say like when I was doing training for my half marathon, I was doing quicker style of resistance movements because I didn't want to get slowed down for my running, but I still wanted to be maintaining and keeping the lean muscle that I had built. So I started doing a little bit more of the faster kind of explosive movements then because I was training for something that required speed and endurance, right? So I'm not saying it's like the wrong way and not to do it this way. However, especially if you're someone who maybe if you've been under chronic stress, if you have been in this yo-yo diet lifestyle, if you maybe are needing to like regulate your nervous system, if you're needing to build a better mindset even around your health, fitness, all of that. Personally, what I've found with myself and with my clients is slowing down the movements is where you're going to end up getting those results. So I want to make sure I'm kind of staying on track here. So different tempos, yes. And yeah, so we go from doing, I think this is kind of why when we go from doing like cardio or HIIT style training to weight training, why we still move like so fast. What I'll see people in the gym, like say if they were doing squats, right? They're going like up and down really fast, like as fast as they can. When they're doing even barbell, say curls, they're just like hammering them out, right? And like I said, not saying that that's wrong, but for the purpose of what we are trying to achieve here, it's not going to be the best approach for you. Push hard, go fast, go, go, go. So what I learned is that it was literally a game changer for me. When I first started, I'll put this down, I think, for a bit, because I didn't write really about my figuring it out on my own-ness. When I first started doing weight training, I was doing, I think it was called JNL Fusion. And so it was like these DVDs, and she had some kind of like weights in there. So you would use lighter weights and you'd be going through the movements really fast. And it was kind of more that HIIT style training. And then you would alternate with just like cardio work, whether that was burpees or jumping jacks or something like that. And it was great. At first, I enjoyed it, right? And it kind of gave me a little bit of a getting familiar with like what even weight training movements were because I didn't really have any idea at all, like whatsoever. It was a really good introduction for me at that time. And then I had a coworker who started doing a training for a physique competition. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. And I didn't really think that girls could like weight train. Like I thought that was a guy thing. So anyway, never thought about it. And then she was doing it. I was like, oh, that's so cool. So I got kind of interested and started doing more. I got into like I started researching bodybuilding.com and like following more stuff like that. But again, I was like going through the movements pretty fast and I wasn't really like I was feeling the burn, but I wasn't feeling it where I needed to be feeling it. And that was just lack of knowledge, right? Like that was just, I had no idea. I was like, oh, this is the movement. You just do it, blah, blah, blah. Everything will work out great. So it was after, I think probably a year or so of this. And I can't remember how I even came across it. If I was just, I mean, I'm a total nerd about this stuff. So I still research stuff just regularly. So that might have been how I came across it. But learning about the muscle mind connection and trying to actually feel the muscle being worked. And I think it was because I was trying to like increase my strength and like my weights. Like I felt like I'd kind of plateaued. So I think that's where I started doing my research and I was like, okay, we'll give this a try. Started working on my form and then also my muscle mind connection. And literally it's like even if you so say if you're sitting here and you like try to just contract that muscle, right? Like just focus on your bicep and contract that muscle. You can do it with me right now, actually. And it might feel like hard to at first just focus on that one muscle, and that's okay. But that is literally like what you're doing for that muscle mind connection. And so in studies, you may have heard this, may have not, but in studies, they did it where people were doing the activity and then people who instead of training that same amount, they like just visualized them doing it, like using their mind, visualizing really strong that they were doing that. And it's still, I can't remember I should have looked into this. I wasn't planning on going this way. But anyway, it still made a big impact. The people who had trained and then the people who only like mentally trained. I can't remember if they were like the same or like they had improved almost equally as much, but it showed that like, I mean, yes, you're not going to be able to like think your way into a physique, right? You still have to do the movements to tear down the muscle fibers to build them back up, right? Stuff like that. But it makes such a big impact, right? So if you're combining both of them, you're even going to make more. I started doing that where I was like focusing on my form. At that time, I was watching myself in a mirror or recording myself and then like comparing it to videos that I was finding online. Like that was just what I did. That's what helped me kind of get started in weight training like a proper way. So yeah, that is kind of my journey on it. I also found that I enjoyed it more. So I'm not sure if that's just like a mental thing because, or maybe it's just because I was being kinder to myself. Like I always felt when I was like trying to push so hard with doing HIIT, doing cardio, even before I did personal training in a gym, just to like get my foot in the door, I thought I applied at a F45 place. And I remember walking out of there and she was like, "Oh, how was it?" I was like, "Oh yeah, no, that was all right. That was fun." And I remember being like, "I don't want this. Like this is not what I went like this is not I don't feel for who I'm wanting to help. This is not actually a very good way." That's my opinions. Personally, from what I've learned and like also specifically who I help, they're not wanting that like go, 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 push as hard as you can. Like some people have been programmed to think that way and they're like, oh, well, that's what I need to get my result. So they think that that's what they want to do. And then they discover this way and they're like, oh, this is like so much better. I actually look forward to doing exercises. I actually feel good after doing them. And that could do with like nervous system cortisol levels. If you are someone who struggles with anxiety and depression, if you have chronic stress in your life, putting that added stress of go, 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 hit cardio type of workouts, it can make you feel worse. And that's actually like normal. And I know people can feel very discouraged about that. Especially like when I was working at the gym, I had one girl specifically. And when she first got started, she told me, she was like, I feel awful after our workouts. And like she was like, I feel terrible. And I was doing this like slower, but she was also, I mean, she was what? She was 460 or 480. I can't remember. This was a long time ago. So, you know, she had a lot of extra weight on her bones and her joints already. So it already was, but then also she had really poor mental health as well. So it was like the combo, but even us slowing down stuff and like just focusing on her making the muscle mind connection was like kind of a shock to her nervous system in a sense. And she felt worse the first while when we started. And then it started getting better and she started getting stronger, right? So I'm not surprised when people tell me that they feel worse after exercises, especially if they're doing HIIT or cardio and they're like, you know what, I'm just basically doing it to try to lose fat right now or improve my health. It doesn't make me feel good. I don't really enjoy it that much. So there was that factor as well, right? Like I can go for a run now and like I enjoy it because there's no pressure to it. I'm literally just choosing to do it because I want to. Back when I first got started, like I would push myself to run and I would just feel awful afterwards. I'd do these HIIT sessions and I'm like, it would feel good. And then like my body would be like crash and burn after, right? So if you're in that boat, it's okay. There's a way. So you might find that you actually enjoy it more. It brought me calm and empowerment. I felt tired but strong, like not dead. So what I've learned, tempoed weight training, intentionally slowing down the movement, being present with your body, and oh yeah, and then it just shows you what you are capable of. Helps in regulating our nervous system, it increases our resilience, decreases stress, increases mental health. So how to do it, this is like an easy way to remember. So the tempo that I would recommend you kind of go with is think of like whenever you're going down, it's going to be on a count of three. So whenever you're moving towards the ground, do it at a count of three. And then whenever you're moving towards the sky, a count of one. So how this would look, say, for a bicep curl. So as you're going down, one, two, three, and then pop up. One, two, three, pop up. Same as a squat, you're going to go down, one, two, three, pop up. One, two, three, pop up. That's the same as shoulder presses. So you're going to pop up to go high, and then 1, 2, 3 to come down. So that's an easy way to remember it is like a count of three to the ground and then one to the sky. Three to the ground, one to the sky. So that's how you can tempo things and just like make it slow. Doing it like without weights. And also, if you have been weight training and you're like, oh, I got up to, say you get up to 90 pounds on your squat. And I think I'm thinking of that because that's where I got. So I think I got to like 90 or maybe it was like 110, maybe even. But I remember I kind of got stuck there. And then once I started doing this tempoing part, it was slowing it down so much. I actually had to decrease my weight again before I was able to go up, right? And then I was able to push past and like go higher. But if you have been weight training and you're like doing this tempoing and it's almost like, oh my goodness, now I have to drop the weight, it's actually a good thing, right? Like you're actually getting stronger and you're able to hold that weight. Like it's all time under tension. The longer you're keeping that muscle under tension, the more micro tears are happening, the more strength that's happening in that muscle. Also, the more like stability, right? Like if we're just going up and up, up and down really fast, you're not really keeping yourself as stable as when you're intentionally like slow down and up and slow down. You get more of that stability part as well. So, anyways, so reframing time and what it's cost me. Yes. So that's another thing. Because we're slowing down things, you might feel like, oh, this is taking more time or rushed to kind of get through it, right? So reframing time and what it's costing me, and I was guilty with this. Again, it still backfires on me when I'm not prioritizing it. So if you're busy or rushing through a workout, although it happens, try to make a habit of it. So like once a week, plan one of your workouts that you're like, you can take that time to slow down and not feel rushed. Because again, if we're just feeling rushed throughout the workout, that's just raising our cortisol levels too, right? That's going to be more inflammation. That's going to be more stress added to your day. And we don't want that either. So planning ahead, and I mean, it's not going to take a lot more time really, but planning ahead and just intentionally having like a day where you're like, okay, I can slow down this movement and be present with me in my body. It's actually like such a blessing, right? To be able to like have that connection with yourself and reconnect. And if you're someone who's not quite connected with your body right now, it might feel kind of like, okay, like what's the big deal? It is actually such a blessing to like really feel and connect and like that empowerment of what your body can do for you. So, anyways, if you're able to slow down, you'll actually learn how to enjoy it as well too. So, yeah, just think about like the 30 to 40 minute, like what I do in the program is we only do three 30-minute full body sessions. And I mean, I can tell when people are rushing through it because they'll clock in and it only took them like 20 minutes to do the 30-minute workout. When really, if they're slowing it down, it might take more like 35. Yeah, the 30 to 40-minute time cost a few days a week is honestly going to add years. So you might be thinking like, oh, this is taking away from my life right now. But long term, I know it's not like maybe sexy to think about or talk about, but like longevity and independent living wise, you are going to be adding years to your life, right? If you don't have that lean muscle, we start losing it after 30. And I'm not saying like, if you're already over 30, don't feel like, oh my goodness, my time's passed, because you can still build quite a bit up. But if you're not maintaining it or intentionally building it, you're losing it, right? If you're not using it, you're losing it. So we want to try to maintain and build as much as we can. And I'm not saying you're going to get big and bulky. Like I've been training for over 10 years now intentionally. And, I'm not big and bulky. By having enough, keeping lean muscle on your body is so, so, so important for longevity and independent living, like being able to actually enjoy your years as you age, right? The 30 to 40 minutes a few days a week that you are committing to yourself to make you feel better now in this current state is really nothing at all because you're not only enjoying life more right now, but you're also adding years to your life to enjoy more too, right? So, anyways, that got a little bit intense there at the end. Yeah, that's all I have for kind of weight training and making it work better for you. I do have like a 30-minute, I call it my anxious girl 30-minute tone at home system. So you can use it at the gym too, but if you are just needing to kind of get started and you're not sure where, I do have a free resource that I'm happy to share it with you. So let me know below if that's something you're interested. Comment 30-minute workout or something like that, and I will send that over to you. Okay, we'll talk soon.